Hello everyone, today we're going to continue smelling the extrays from the La Matière line, and today we're going to be smelling Iris Pallida and Rose Centifolia, courtesy of Sebastian Furtado, who was very kind to send me these. And I have a bit of a confession to make. Last night, as I was, because I did wear the extrays I've already smelled, I did wear them a couple of times, and I will make a future video where I talk about all of them and maybe give you my impressions on all of them. I was trying to wear Bergamot Fantastico again. This one, as you can see, this one's pretty empty. And by mistake, I took out and sprayed Iris Pallida, which looks kind of the same. It was dark in my bedroom. So I already know what Iris Pallida smells like, and I have it right here. And let me tell you, I was blown away by this, by the way this scent is just done. So what I'm smelling here is this papery, woody, musky, dirty, very, very interesting iris. It's not floral, and you know, iris is part of the Guerlain. We all know this, and I know that it is the iris extrait I was most excited about. I didn't care very much about all the others. I was very much excited about the iris, and this is why I kept it for last. But this is also about, not about floral iris, it's about rooty iris, it's about orris. And it's interesting because as a part of the Guerlain, iris is Guerlain and Guerlain is iris, at least in my head. And there isn't any of the iris heavy fragrances that I can liken to this extrait. And this might sound like it's something bad, and maybe it is, but there's also something very interesting to be said about this extrait. It does remind me of one fragrance from Guerlain though, and that fragrance is Samsara. And it's the last fragrance I was expecting to be reminded of while smelling an iris extrait. But there you go, and it is, I think it's the orris, you know, it's the orris sandalwood that reminds me of Samsara so much. So you get this creamy, funky, woody, papery, dry, but then again lush and creamy scent. Because I couldn't possibly call this an iris, you know, it's not just iris. And this is kind of a shame, to be honest. I mean, my expectations were there's so many iris-oriented fragrances, not to mention Iris Torrefia, which is discontinued now. But let's just think of L'Heure Bleue, which is all iris. It's not all iris, but you know what I mean. Let's think of Insolence is another good example, which is, you know, floral iris. It's violet. There's Iris Ganache, which is so sought after. You know, it's a crowd favorite, and for good reason. There's so many good iris scents at Guerlain, but from all of them, Samsara, which is very, very interesting. I think it's a good thing ultimately, because unlike all the other extrays I've smelled so far, because I still have the rose to smell, through all of them I was complaining, where's the work, you know? Very disappointed in Tonka. I liked the vanilla. We'll talk about the vanilla in a future video. Quite disappointed-ish about Bergamot Fantastico, although I do like it. You know, where's the work? Well, I think Iris Pallida is worked. I think Iris Pallida is a beautiful fragrance in itself. Now, is it the most beautiful iris fragrance I smelled at Guerlain? No, Definitely not. And I think this is why, I mean, this is a very expensive iris-centered X-ray, and people might, be disappointed. This is why you very much need to smell this first. But it is something I do see myself owning. I think it's the first one where I do see myself owning it and loving it, I don't know what it is about this scent. I mean, I do know what it is about this scent. It's unusual. There was a twist. You didn't expect something like this, and I think it works. Now, there is another fragrance that this fragrance does remind me of, and it is Encounters by Francesca Bianchi. This has the exact same type of funky, rooty iris combined with, this, if you ask me, is far more interesting than Iris Pallida, but that's another story. Combined with oud, an oud accord, which makes it even more funky and even more interesting and even more sexy. But this is a Francesca Bianchi, so the expectations were there. But why I'm mentioning this is it's because it has the exact same type of rooty, papery, earthy, musky, dirty type of iris, which is very, very interesting. And it is the only thing, there are some very mild, leafy parts, greener parts to this scent, to Iris Pallida, but I was expecting all of the others, tonka. Tonka is photorealistic tonka. When you're smelling tonka, it's the exact same smell as the X-ray. When you're smelling an iris, well, I haven't smelled orris, so I couldn't pronounce myself. And it is fair because they do use orris, not the flower. However, I do need to say this. When I'm smelling L'Heure Bleue, it's like I'm smelling an iris. Or the iris part from Vol de Nuit, it's like I'm smelling the floral iris. And it is beautiful. And I was kind of expecting that. I mean, if you're going to dedicate this to iris, why not dedicate it to the entire flower? But it's a choice, it's the ingredient. Maybe the ingredient smells like this. Maybe orris does smell like this raw. Beautiful scent, all in all. Might be disappointing to some. Even to me, it's somewhat disappointing. But then again, the other parts I do love about this. So, I don't know. It wears beautifully, though. It wears beautifully. As I said, I wore it last night to bed without my intention. And it wears fantastically. It's like this very human, very animalic kind of scent. It's quite funky. Very, very interesting. Now let's smell the rose. Let's finally smell the rose and be done with these X-rays. I will finally have known them all. Have an idea at least. Okay. This smells... Oh my goodness, how predictable, Guerlain. I wasn't expecting it, but it's still rather predictable. This smells exactly like the discontinued Musc Noble from Les Absolus d'Orient. God, save yourself the trouble and just get that. Get it. It's the exact same scent. Which is to say, it's jammy rose, and maybe this rose is just a bit jammier than the rose used in Musc Noble. But it's jammy, funky, musky rose. Jammy, funky, musky rose. Yep. With a bit of patchouli for good measure, and a bit of Incense, again for good measure, this belongs in the Absolu d'Orient line. This cannot. I had my Nahéma here with me. I thought maybe I could talk about, maybe make a comparison to Nahéma. No Nahéma here, just, you know, the name of the rose, but no. This is Musc Noble, which is to say it's a very beautiful scent. I love Musc Noble, but if I had to pay 600 euros for Musc Noble, I would just laugh, slam the door, and just no. I have no problem with the way this fragrance is created. It's, you know, interesting enough. It's beautiful. Couldn't possibly justify paying this amount of money for this, but you know, it's a beautiful scent. As I said, Musc Noble is beautiful, but it's just that, it's Musc Noble. Oh God. And again, I have to mention, I do not think there's a coincidence with Guerlain discontinuing Tonka Impérial, Embrun d'Ylang, Musc Noble, all these scents that are so strangely related to these extraits. This is what some people might call a dick move. It's no, I have no words. But you know, Iris Pallida smells nice. Does smell nice. It smells like a more irisy samsara, which, you know, get samsara. I'm pissed now. I am pissed now. Oh my God. Hopefully samsara is okay. Oh, there's also, yes, because of samsara, there's also parts of Liu in Iris Pallida, which is, again, this beautiful iris in Liu. Okay, so all in all, I think iris, you know, the iris extrait is a good scent. It is a very good scent, and it has all the references and all the things required to make it interesting and a fragrance in itself. Not to say the rose isn't a fragrance in itself, but it's just so redundant. There are hints from honeyed hints, you know, the patchouli rose from Rose Barbare, which is to be expected. But again, is Rose Barbare still in production? I think it is. That one's beautiful also. So I think the opening was more Musc Noble with the funky rose. But now it's just Rose Barbare. So the rose, as I said, it's a very jammy, sweet rose, which is to be expected. You know, the raw material doesn't smell of rose that much. It smells of jammy rose. And all the aspects of the raw material of the rose oil are there. It's darker, it's velvety, it's syrupy, and it also has that spiciness. Rose oil is quite spicy, so yeah, it's just that. It works beautiful. Rose works beautiful with patchouli, works beautiful with incense. And I have to say the incense isn't very prominent, so the rose, not even the patchouli, the rose is center stage. And it's summery rose, that is to say, it's the fresher type of rose, you know. It's Rose Centifolia, it's not, you know, Damascus rose. So, yeah, there's that. Okay. So I will give these a couple of more wears, and I will get back with another video. Sad to say, I think I think my mind is already set, but we'll see. Maybe with some wears. I did discover some things about the other fragrances. So there's beautiful things I want to tell you about all these fragrances. Maybe there's more to talk about in a future video. So if you've got any other questions regarding the scents we talk about today, do let me know in the comments. And until next time, remember, fragrance creates memories, and may yours be happy.